Situation: you want to improve your study habits. Here are 3 strategies. 1. Create a consistent study schedule. 2. Study with a partner or in a group. 3. Take short breaks during long study sessions. Which do you think is the most effective and why?
To develop better study habits, I think the most effective strategy is to create a consistent study schedule. Having a fixed time for studying each day trains your brain to focus during those hours. It reduces procrastination and helps manage time more efficiently. Studying with others can be useful, but sometimes it leads to distractions. Taking breaks is important too, but it only works well if you already have a structured routine. Personally, when I started studying every evening from 7 to 9, my productivity improved a lot. I didn't waste time deciding when to study anymore. That's why I believe a consistent schedule is the key to developing strong and lasting study habits.
Situation: you are going to give a public speech. Here are 3 ways to prepare. 1. Practice in front of a mirror. 2. Record yourself and review the performance. 3. Rehearse in front of a small audience. Which do you think is the best way to prepare and why?
To prepare for a public speech, I think the best method is to rehearse in front of a small audience. Speaking in front of others helps simulate real conditions, which reduces anxiety and builds confidence. You can also receive feedback on your tone, pace, and body language. Practicing in front of a mirror is helpful for self-awareness, but it doesn't prepare you for the pressure of having real listeners. Recording is useful too, but it's a one-way activity. Personally, when I practiced my presentation in front of friends, they pointed out things I didn't notice, like speaking too fast. It really helped me improve. That's why rehearsing in front of a small audience is the most effective way to get ready for public speaking.
Situation: you have some free time every weekend. Here are 3 ways you could spend it. Read books to improve your knowledge. Spend time with friends and family. Work on a personal hobby or project. Which do you think is the best way to spend your free time and why?
When it comes to using free time wisely, I believe the best option is to work on a personal hobby or project. This allows you to relax and be creative while also learning something new. It gives a sense of progress and personal fulfillment that watching TV or scrolling social media can't offer. Reading is great for learning, and socializing is important too, but hobbies combine both learning and enjoyment in a personal way. For example, I spend my weekends writing short stories. It helps me improve my writing skills and express myself. That's why I think investing free time in a meaningful personal hobby is the most rewarding option.
Situation: you want to reduce your impact on the environment. Here are 3 actions you could take. Use public transport instead of driving. Reduce the use of plastic in daily life. Support local eco-friendly businesses. Which do you think is the most effective and why?
To be more environmentally friendly, I believe the most effective action is to reduce the use of plastic in daily life. Plastic waste causes serious pollution, especially in oceans and landfills. By avoiding single-use plastics and choosing reusable items, we can make a big difference. Public transport is great, but not always available for everyone. Supporting eco-friendly businesses is helpful too, but it often depends on your budget. Personally, I carry a reusable water bottle and shopping bag. These small actions have become habits, and I feel like I'm contributing to a cleaner planet. That's why I think cutting down on plastic is the most impactful and practical way to protect the environment.
Situation: you want to learn how to cook better. Here are 3 ways to start. Watch cooking videos and try the recipes. Take a cooking class with an instructor. Cook with family or friends who already know how. Which do you think is the most effective method and why?
To improve my cooking skills, I think the most effective method is to cook with family or friends who already know how. Learning from someone in person gives you immediate support, explanations, and tips that aren't always included in online videos or formal classes. It also makes cooking more fun and less stressful. Watching videos is convenient, but it can be hard to follow without guidance. Cooking classes are helpful, but they can be expensive and infrequent. When I learned to cook from my grandmother, she showed me simple tricks and shared her experience. That hands-on learning made a big difference. That's why I believe learning with experienced people you trust is the best way to improve your cooking.
Situation: you want to become more creative. Here are 3 ways to help boost creativity. Keep a daily journal of ideas. Try new experiences and go to new places. Collaborate with creative people. Which do you think is the most effective and why?
To boost creativity, I think the most effective way is to try new experiences and go to new places. Creativity often comes from inspiration, and the best way to get inspired is to break away from your usual environment. When you travel, explore a museum, or attend a new event, your brain is exposed to fresh ideas and perspectives. Keeping a journal is useful to track thoughts, and collaborating with creative people can be motivating, but they rely on having something new to write about or share. Personally, after visiting an art gallery or hiking in nature, I often come up with ideas I never would have thought of sitting at my desk. That's why I believe seeking new experiences is the most powerful way to fuel creativity.
Situation: you want to become more confident in yourself. Here are 3 strategies. Set and achieve small goals. Practice positive self-talk. Get feedback from people you trust. Which do you think is the most effective and why?
To build self-confidence, I think the most effective strategy is to set and achieve small goals. Each time you succeed, no matter how small the goal is, you build a sense of accomplishment. This gradually trains your mind to believe in your abilities. Positive self-talk helps emotionally, but it can feel empty without real results. Feedback is helpful too, but it depends on the people and how constructive they are. For me, even finishing a workout or completing a small project boosts my confidence far more than just telling myself, I can do it. That's why achieving small, manageable goals is the most practical and reliable path to greater confidence.
Situation: you have an important exam coming up. Here are 3 preparation methods. Study with past exam papers. Join a study group. Hire a private tutor. Which do you think is the most effective and why?
To prepare for an important exam, I believe the most effective method is to study with past exam papers. Doing past papers helps you understand the exam format, question types, and time pressure. It allows you to practice under real conditions and identify weak areas. Joining a study group can be helpful, but it's only effective if everyone is focused. A private tutor is great, but not everyone can afford one. Personally, when I prepared for my English test, doing sample papers helped me feel familiar with the structure and less nervous on test day. That's why I think practicing with real exam materials is the best way to prepare effectively.
Situation: your school wants students to be more eco-friendly. Here are 3 actions they can take. Set up recycling stations in classrooms. Organize environmental awareness campaigns. Encourage students to use reusable water bottles. Which do you think is the most effective and why?
To make schools more environmentally responsible, I believe the most effective action is to set up recycling stations in classrooms. This provides a daily, visible way for students to practice eco-friendly behavior. It turns sustainability into a habit, not just a one-time event. Campaigns are educational, but people often forget them quickly. Reusable bottles are great too, but they only tackle one part of the problem. In my school, once we had labeled recycling bins, more students started separating their trash correctly without needing reminders. That's why I think providing recycling facilities is the most practical and long-term solution for encouraging green behavior in schools.
Situation: you're very busy with school, but you want to stay healthy. Here are 3 actions you could take. Plan healthy meals in advance. Do short workouts at home. Get enough sleep each night. Which do you think is the most important and why?
To stay healthy during a busy semester, I think the most important action is to get enough sleep each night. Sleep affects everything: your mood, memory, and energy. Without rest, even eating well and exercising won't be effective. Planning meals and exercising are both helpful, but they require time and energy, which you may not have if you're constantly tired. I used to stay up late studying, but after I started prioritizing sleep, I performed better in school and felt more balanced. That's why I believe sleep is the foundation of staying healthy, especially when life gets hectic.